Good morning for anybody who's joining live. Welcome for anybody who's joining a little bit later on. My name is Brenton, and today we're going to do a full body yoga movement experience that's called Steady, and appropriate for this time of year with the holiday season coming up. There's a lot of times in life where there's a little bit more turbulence coming our way than we're maybe initially prepared for. And so this class is going to be taking a look at some of that turbulence and seeing if we can't up our steadiness game when things get a little bit more chaotic. So I invite you to grab like a ball and a yoga block if you have it around. If you don't have it around, any type of ball will work, golf ball, dryer ball, really anything. And for a block, you could also use a book or any like sort of flat thing that you could just carry in the palm of your hand. But we'll use that later on. So why don't we go ahead and get started on our backs. Once you get down onto your backs, you can just move around in any way that feels good to you. Using this initial time to spread your attention throughout your body like light filling a room. Not ignoring any part of the body, not overly gripping the attention on some part. See if that impacts the breath at all. And the invitation here is to breathe in and out through your nose throughout our practice as much as you can. And instead of using the more superficial breathing muscles in the neck and in the upper chest and even in the face and jaw, let's see if we can breathe with some of the abdominal area as we take in air below the ribs. Now, key to our steadiness is staying exactly here throughout our entire practice. So you want to customize the level of challenge that you take on today so that it fits nice and squarely within this package of steadiness that we're creating with our attention and our breathing. Those are the two things that always come first whenever we go to do any movement. So let's go ahead and set our feet up however you like for bridge. Press down with the feet. Lift the hips. I'm going to go up and down with the pelvis a few times just so I can begin to feel my glutes, those are the butt muscles, start to turn on a little bit. So depending on your movement, lifestyle, and history, maybe your glutes are pretty already active, maybe your glutes are really sleepy. Mine are coming off of many, many years of being very sleepy. So I have to use a little repetition to get them going and remind the brain that it should be able to activate these bad boys early and often when we're moving. So keeping the pelvis up now, we're gonna make sure that our low back feels like it's not crunched, it's in a good position. We feel like our rib cage is moving down away from our chin. And now from here, we're gonna activate and isolate the buttocks a little bit more. So we're gonna see, can I grip just my left buttocks and rock the left hip towards the sky? And then, can I let that go? Not all the way, because you need a little bit of tone to hold up in the pelvis here, but I'm gonna trade, and I'm gonna really grip my right buttocks and hike my right hip bone up to the sky. And then I'm gonna slowly, with control, release that contraction down to like 20%. I'm gonna ramp up the left glute, rocking the left hip bone up, ramp down the left glute, ramp up the right glute. So let's kind of just go back and forth a few times. We're just rocking the pelvis up and down, trying to remain steady and controlled with the breathing, with our attention, and finally, with our muscle activation. Starting to feel that tingliness through the legs. Let's go ahead, release and relax everything down there. And in these relaxation moments, this is sort of like in life when things are really hectic, and then it pulls back and it calms down a little bit. And so you really want to use this time well and remind yourself what your job is. My job is to spread attention into my body evenly and to breathe in an easy, regulated fashion. Okay, we're gonna come up to bridge again, going ahead and lifting the hippies there. We're gonna really get the underside of the legs to turn on. We're gonna add a little bit of turbulence here by pushing through the right foot, stepping the left foot forward, 1 footprint. And we're gonna push to the left foot, step the right foot forward, 1 footprint. So now they're still side by side, but they're a little bit more forward. We're gonna reactivate through the legs, get the low back in a position where it feels good. If you're very challenged right here, stay here. Otherwise, press down with your left foot, step your right foot forward, 1 footprint. Press down with your right foot, step your left foot forward, 1 footprint. Now really activate your feet like they're pulling and gripping like some sand underneath them, pulling them back. You're gonna feel the underside of the legs turn on. So let that activation happen. Everything's fine. If you have one more walk out, walk your left foot out, walk your right foot out, and use your legs. Woo! With control, walk 1 foot in, walk the other foot in. If you can make this a slow kind of march back, make a slow march back with the feet, and release the hips down. Anything you like that feels good here. That's one way to wake up the hamstrings. Let's go ahead and turn on the abs. So interlock the hands behind the head, elbows in. We'll start with the legs up. They can be bent or straight, but you just want to negotiate a good feeling position for the low back. So if you can get a sense of sitting bones hugging toward each other, tailbone lifting, that might do the trick. So let's lift up off the shoulder blades. But of course we want the head soft into the hands, and we want this action to be coming from the abdomen here. So we're gonna see, can I stretch just the left leg forward a little bit? I wanna still feel a sense of steadiness through the entire torso. And now I'm gonna see, can I turn just my left leg in, so the toes are rotating in, heel out, and can I rotate my right leg out? Lift up off the shoulder blades. Let's go ahead and turn the right toes forward, turn the left toes forward, bring the left leg up, release. So we're staying steady through complexity here. Let's go ahead, set the legs up in neutral. Come on up off the shoulder blades, head soft into the hands. Here we're gonna control, remain steady as you stretch your right leg forward any amount. You choose that, right? Now we're gonna internally rotate the right leg, turn the toes in. We're gonna externally rotate the left leg, turn the toes out. Lift up, turn your left toes back forward, turn your right toes back forward. With steadiness, bring your right leg back up and release. Coming up off the shoulder blades again, head soft into the hands. Stretch your left leg forward any amount. Turn your left toes in. Turn your right toes out. Lift up. Twist your torso an inch to the left. Move from the ribs. Neck nice and soft. Come back through center. Turn your right toes forward. Your left toes forward. The left toes up. And release. So nice and easy and regulated in the breathing here. Let's go again. Come on up off the shoulder blades, head soft into the hands. With control, let's lengthen the right leg forward any amount. We're gonna turn the right toes in. We're gonna turn the left toes out. We're gonna lift up and turn from the ribs an inch to the right, coming back through center here. Turn the left toes forward, the right toes forward, the right leg up. Release. Whoo! All right, we have one last set. We're gonna try to combine it this time and stay up. So come on up off the shoulder blades, head soft into the hands. Here we go. We go left leg forward. We're gonna roll the left toes in. We're gonna roll the right leg out. Lift up, twist an inch to the left. Come back through center. Turn all 10 toes forward. Switch the legs. Turn your right leg in. Turn your left leg out. Lift up, turn an inch to the right. Come back through center, turn all 10 toes forward, lift the right leg up, release down. Really remain steady with that attention, with that breathing, feeling everything active in the front of the body. Let's go ahead, come on up, forward to tabletop position in your own time. So stay steady as you move forward and just explore any movement on hands and knees that feels good to you right now. Sometimes it's just about collecting that steadiness, and it's not so much to do with the shapes that we're choosing, but it's just about remaining steady with our attention, with our breathing. Let's go ahead and set the elbows down underneath the shoulders. You decide if your hands are wide or clasped. Relaxing the head here, tuck the toes, lift off the knees for dolphin. Use your legs however you need to get your pelvis to lift high away from your head. Head nice and soft here, feeling like the ribs are lifting up towards the shoulders. Really activate through the arms, all the way up into the armpits, the upper back, the chest. We're gonna hold here if you can. We're gonna see, can I lift my left foot off the ground, knee into belly, without moving my pelvis or my chest, stretching the left leg out, drawing the left knee in, pressing out through the left heel, drawing the left knee in. My pelvis and my ribs are not moving. Switching the legs. As we feel ready, taking the knees down to the floor, pushing up off the hands and walking all the way back to the feet. So our nice first forward bend at the back of the mat. You know what, the floor seems really far away. You can always perch yourself up on your thighs or take your forearms onto a sofa edge or something like that. We don't want to feel any strain in the low back here. We'd rather just feel nice open sensation in the legs, waterfalling of the spine all the way down. Steadiness in the breathing. And then grounding down through the feet, slow motion rolling ourselves all the way up to stand. Following that with a big reach all the way up to the sky. Settling the arms down. Doing that a couple of times to collect our steadiness and start moving through the shoulders in a way where we're trying not to move through the rest of the body. So part of our ability to be steady is our ability to be precise in any given moment. And you'll notice when you start to get overwhelmed, it's the precision that leaves the picture. So we're just asking ourselves for more and more precision each time. That helps with the steadiness. Set your feet, we're at the back of the mat here. We'll just start with some heel bops. So coming up and down. Trying to just move this from the calves, not trying to move it from the spine or the torso at all. You can pick up the pace. And then from here, we'll tightrope walk forward. So we'll step forward with the right foot, all 10 toes in one line, if we can manage that. Feel that sense of steadiness, maybe even rock around on the feet. So you're exposing your feet to different loads of your body weight. You're reminding them that it's okay to be loaded weirdly, off-centered, off balance a little bit differently. Walking yourself forward, continuing to explore with how we're loading through the feet. Very, very good to expose the ankles and the soles of the feet to all these different ranges of motion. Let's walk forward this time. We'll continue our heel bops up and down. Doing it a few times. Walking forward with the left foot, heel bop. If you have space to walk forward again, let's walk forward again. Coming up, let's see if I can hold it this time and wobble. Left and right, any amount. Again, exposing the foot and ankle to all that good stuff. Taking the heels down, walking forward one more time, coming up, really squeezing the calf muscle to get those heels high and wobble. Taking the heels down, we'll meet at the top of the mat, both feet underneath the pelvis, feeling how they're a little bit more alive, sparked up. Breathe and reach the arms up to the sky. And then from here, remember that idea of the spine being on the broomstick with the low back and the shoulder blades and the head. We find a sense of that as we bend the knees. And then we hinge forward, trying to maintain all of those points of contact. So we press down and come up. If you have a broomstick at home, pause the video, maybe go grab it and try it out like this. And really maintain your steadiness. So we want to teach the spine how to remain steady while the hips hinge. Again, we're just going for precision. So let's go ahead and hinge. You may be at any point in space. You may be like all the way up here, that's fine. Let's take the arms down in front with the palms facing each other, but the chest is open. We're not like this, right? We're plugged in, we're feeling strong here, and as long as your back feels good, we can widen the reach, trying to remain nice and steady through your torso, especially not moving the ribs. I know those are gonna wanna buckle. Taking the arms back down and forward. Let's go ahead here, forward fold over the legs. We'll move the feet back one at a time to downward facing dog, so bearing a little bit of weight on the hands there. You can walk out through the feet, anything that you like that feels good. Personally, this is always my time to introduce my hands to the concept of pushing and pulling and letting activation ride all the way up into the armpits, the chest, the upper back, and all of that is super broad, left to right. Breathing nice and steady here. Let's go ahead and shift forward to plank. See how steady we can hold ourselves. Shoulders over the wrists. You can always take the knees down, right? But we see here, can I first send attention into every part of my body? Can I breathe nice and steady? Just breathe. Pushing ourselves all the way up and back, downward facing dog there. Let's go ahead, push off these strong hands one at a time. With control, walk back to the feet. Easy does it here. We'll see, can I find that halfway lift, that hip hinge, wherever I kind of was in space, where the spine's on the broomstick, taking the arms in front of me there, as long as it feels good, reaching the arms out like wings, keeping the rib cage contained. Now turning the thumbs face down, imagine your hands are pushing back through something really thick as they push back towards the pelvis. Root down through your legs and use them to stand up with your spine on your imaginary broomstick. Here we are at the back of the mat. Let's reach the arms all the way out and up to the sky. Taking the arms down in front. Let's go ahead. We'll move into our abduction series. So we'll see if we can balance on the right foot, lifting the left leg out to the side. So if you need that visual, it's like this, okay? But we want to get ourselves nice and lifted all the way up, so we're not toppling over here. We're trying to avoid any of that. And we're trying to remain as lifted as possible. Let's go ahead, step that left foot forward, stretch the right leg out. So the pelvis is behaving like it's not doing what the right leg is doing. It's trying to just be in the standing position. That's what makes this really strong right leg and hip work. Go ahead, take that right leg forward, stretching the left leg out. Now you can add turbulence here by rotating the left leg in the socket, open and close. So we sort of did this in the abs, but I want to try to distinguish thigh bone from pelvis. I'm moving the thigh, I'm not moving the pelvis. Left foot forward. Here we go with the right foot out to the side. Starting to again rotate You choose a range of motion that works for you, where you can be steady with your attention and your breathing. As we feel ready, we'll meet with both feet at the top of the mat there. See how you feel. Inhale, reach the arms all the way wide and high. On the exhale, start with a little softness in the knee, hinging forward, keeping your spine on the broomstick. When you can't move anymore, then you waterfall down over the legs. Easy in the neck there. Let's ground the hands, and we'll see if we can step right back to plank. Shoulders stay over the wrists. Rocking around in plank a little bit here. Loading the hands, loading the toes differently. In plank, we really want the ribs lifting up into the shoulder blades, pelvis at the height of all of that. Let's go ahead, lower down to the knees. Here's what gets really turbulent, is controlling our body weight as we go down. So bending into the elbows, trying to maintain your spine on that broomstick as you come all the way down. Coming all the way down there, relax your feet. Maybe even take the arms to cactus so we can get the chest a little bit open today. So when you come down to the belly, make sure your low back doesn't feel crunched. Utilize your butt. Utilize the sheet of muscles on the front. Let's go ahead. Hover the arms for cactus there without any of the bones on the front body busting into the floor. The bones on the front body are pulling up into the back body. Let's go ahead and pulse up and down here with the chest. And you want to be steady here, and the way to do that is to make sure certain structures feel really good. So make sure your neck feels good. Make sure your low back feels good. Then staying here, I know the arms are feeling it, but just breathe. Build fists, drag your elbows back by your side. Push your arms back out to cactus. One more time, pulling the arms back. This time, release the hands, flutter them back. Palms facing open, thumbs up. Hold here with me for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. We'll release the hands under the shoulders, but our chest is nice and broad and wide. Stay steady, pay attention, breathe, and hug your front body to your back body as you push up to your knees. From here, we'll meet downward facing dog. Nice, easy, regular breathing here. We're so steady. As you feel ready, push off the hands one at a time. Walk all the way back to the legs. See if you can find your hip hinge from the bottom up. Where is that? Arms in front. And then with curiosity, opening the arms like wings, holding everything else nice and still, turning the thumbs face down, pushing back through something nice and thick to move the hands back to the pelvis. Press down, upright. Inhale, we reach the arms all the way wide and high. Exhale, hands down in front. We'll keep moving forward on the mat. This time, we'll see if we can bring the left knee in front of the body. That's the only joint change we're making, so we're trying not to lean back, we're trying not to scoop under, we're trying to just be nice and strong. Standing leg is a strong leg. You can test it by bouncing it. And especially, I don't want to feel this in my low back. If I feel it in my low back, I need to do something with my pelvis. Maybe I need more glute support. Let's go ahead, step the left foot down, bring the right leg up. So you got to figure out for yourself, is my pelvis rocking forward? That sometimes happens like this, right? Is my pelvis scooping under? It's going to feel best when it's well positioned for the task at hand. The task at hand is just one joint change. Pelvis in neutral with the rest of the body. Right knee pulling up. We're going to step it down. We're going to keep moving though, my friends. Left knee goes up. Option to stay here. Or measure the distance between your pelvis points and your armpits. You want that distance to remain steady. Stabilize this whole area as you hinge forward any amount over the right leg. So it's like you can imagine that broomstick again here. That's the same thing. Coming all the way back up. And then coming down. Coming all the way back up. Stepping the left foot down, keep breathing. So it's never too much, right? Bring the right leg up. Here we go. Let's find ourselves nice and steady here as we hinge. That could be any range of motion, right? Coming back up. Hinging again. Coming back up. Stepping the right foot down. Let's pick up the left foot. We're gonna do this one more time. Here we go. So we get ourselves nice and lifted. Hinging. Coming up. We're gonna hinge and hold. Option in the hinge and hold. Push through the left heel, stretch the leg back. Draw the leg in without changing the pelvis. Left leg back, left leg in. One more time, left leg back, left knee in. Woo, hinge yourself up. We are good. Left foot down. So see if you can get even more calm as the practice progresses here. Let's go ahead and draw the right leg up. Here we go. We hinge forward any amount. We come back up. We hinge forward any amount. We have the option to hold or push out. Draw the right knee in. Push out through the right heel. Draw the right leg in. Pushing out through the right heel. Drawing in at the right knee. Hinging ourselves all the way up. Taking the right foot down. Feel your steady left leg. Arms wide and high all the way up. Hinging forward at the hips. Water falling over the legs. Hands underneath the shoulders, stepping back, plank. From plank pose, easy does it. Knees down on the ground with control, steadiness. Lower all the way. Once we get down here, release the tops of the feet, the arms back with the pinkies up. We can just lift the legs. Again, making sure that the low back feels good, no crunching. So nice and steady as we lift and lower the legs. Lift and lower the legs. The arms can raise too here. But keep some activation through the arms so they're not just like flying up behind you. You want the spine nice and connected. Now from here, we see, can I lift the left foot? Really curl and point those toes and pull the foot in toward the butt by bending the knee. Once it gets here, could I flex the left foot, push through the heel back? One more time. Pointing through the left toes, really curling, scooping the foot towards the glute. Flex through the left foot, press the heel back. Let's go ahead, release that foot to the ground, lift the right foot up, point the toes, bend the knees, scoop the foot towards the bottom. Of course, no pinching in the low back. So flex the foot, push back through the heel. And one more time, pointing through the toes, curling in, flexing through the foot, pushing back. Taking the hands underneath the shoulders, nice and broad through the chest, low back feels good with steadiness. Press on up to the knees. Finding tabletop position. Tabletop position here. Let's go ahead, tuck the toes under. You want to get a sense again of the spine on those points of the broomstick as you hover the knees to tabletop hover. So knees stay here as you push your pelvis back towards your heels. Knees stay here as you lift back up for hover table. So knees stay here, push your pelvis back. Knees stay here, shift your hips forward. One more. Your knees are really going to want to lift, right? Downward facing dog. So now the legs have a little coil springy action to them. If you want, you can bend into your legs and hop forward from here. Otherwise, you're welcome to just walk yourself on up. So here we are at the top of the mat. Let's go ahead and find halfway lift, wherever that is for you, with the arms in front. As long as it feels good, widen the reach of the arms. Turn the thumbs face down, push through something thick, hands back to the waist. Go ahead, stand on up from there. Inhale, reach the arms up, taking the hands down in front. Keep breathing here, nice and steady as you reach wide and high. With readiness, coming all the way down over the legs, bending the knees, step the left foot back, knee, top of the foot down for a high kneel. So wrap over the back leg. You could also call this a low lunge. But taking your time here to find a sense of steadiness with your attention and your breathing. And then we'll clip on our cactus arms, feeling your shoulder blades clipping on your back. And feeling again that the whole front body is contained, pulling into the back body. Use the power of your legs to hold yourself nice and steady as you begin to turn through the ribs. As we feel ready from here, coming forward, we're gonna take the hands forward, tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and turn right over to the side for a side lunge to the left. So once we get over here, we can just kind of pulse a couple of times, feel a sense of both feet pushing and pulling, drawing activation up the leg, both legs. Turning around forward again, we're gonna drop that left knee back to where it was. Toes tucked or untucked, you'll kind of figure out your jam there. And here we're gonna just place the left hand on the floor, lean into the left shoulder blade, turn open for a twist. Whether the right arm goes up or to the leg is totally up to you. We wanna get a sense that the pelvis is trying to pull back over that left knee, and the whole rib cage is pulling into one shape. We're not finding that the ribs are sort of like busting away from the twist. Now, as we feel ready from here, we're gonna see, can I stand on my left arm and my left leg? I'll take my right hand down to my hip from here and stretch the right leg back to a half side plank, which, at least in terms of stability goes, is much more challenging than regular plank. So I'm gonna see with control, can I bend that right knee, bring the foot back forward so I'm back in the lunge, my arm even extends there, neck feels good. And then from there, it's can I pull my right hand back to my waist? Can I get myself nice and balanced on that left arm, left hip, so that left leg is doing a lot of work for me, holding the pelvis up as I stretch the right leg back. Bending into that right knee, pulling that right foot forward, back to the twist. Here we go. We take that right arm all the way up. We take the right hand down to the ground. Wow, that was kind of fun. And we'll go ahead, pull the right knee back for table. In tabletop position, step the legs back one at a time for plank. And then let's go ahead, come all the way down to the floor any way you like. We'll go ahead, come on up to the forearms, elbows underneath the shoulders there. Feeling a sense of connectivity through the spine. Easy breathing here. Breathing in. As you breathe out, taking the chin into the throat, pull your collarbones up, your front ribs up, your belly button up, your front pelvis points up. Nice and contained on the front of the body. As you feel ready, lowering yourself down, stretching forward, curling in. One more time. Hold here with me. Option to tuck the toes, lift the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll take the knees down to the floor there. So the knees come down, we come up. I'm gonna keep the toes pointing straight back there as I come way up over the knees. So I get that sense of my spine on the broomstick. And then from here, I'm gonna stay nice and steady in my spine as I change the knee joint and lean back. So I'm loading these muscles as they lengthen. So I'm pressing down through the shins to come up.
So keep the shins pressing down as you pull yourself back. And really imagine, like, if you had your spine on that broomstick, how could I keep as much of it there as possible through the movement? As we come on up here, hinge at the hips, hands down to the floor. Walk yourself into tabletop position. Tuck the toes there. Hover the knees an inch off the ground. Keep your knees here, push your hips back. Keep your knees here, lift your hips up. Keep your knees here, push your hips back. Keep your knees here, lift your hips up. Let's go ahead, lift all the way up, downward facing dog. And then you decide if you want to step or lightly hop yourself all the way up to the top. That's up to you. Let's go ahead from here, come on up to halfway, wherever you can find that. I'm going to offer, again, arms down in front, where we widen the reach. Again, as long as that feels good on the back. Turning the thumbs face down, push your hands back through something thick. Stand all the way up. Inhale, reach up wide and high. Coming all the way back down. Bend your knees, step the right leg back, knee down, top of the foot down, come up to your kneeling position. Find some time to get steady here. Once you find your steadiness, which my Jove sometimes takes quite a while, cactus. And so you just do you. You know, this eventually turns into the twist with the ribs. But imagine you've been like skewered with a shish kebab, so the spine doesn't leave the shish kebab. Okay. Taking the arms all the way down and forward, tuck the back toes, turn open, side lunge to the right, bending over into that right knee, a couple of pulses there, where you get that sense of pushing and pulling with the legs. As we feel ready, coming back to the front, right knee drops down. I'm gonna see again, like the hips are pulling back towards that right leg. As I ground the right arm, twist open on that shoulder blade. So I'm trying to keep my pelvis as if it was still in that lunge. I'm just turning from the rib cage. Maybe that left arm goes up. Now I may need to find here a different place to set this back leg and the arm, right? So I'm just gonna try it out, taking the left hand to the waist. I need to get strong in the right leg. I need to feel that knee push down so that I can get so light on the left leg that I can bring it out to the side. And there's a lot of stability challenge there. Now, bending the knee with control, bringing it back down, coming back to the twist. Taking the left hand back down to the waist, I'm gonna see, could I get so strong through the torso, through that right leg lifting my bottom up, lifting my pelvis up, that my left leg can float back. Nice and strong. Oh, there the butt is. Thank you, butt. Drawing the left knee in, left foot down with control. Here we are there. Frame the mat with both hands. Pop the left knee back. Here we go. We're gonna step back to plank, and then with control, slowly lower all the way down. Once we get down here, tent the fingers nice and wide. Push and roll off the mat to your heart's content. So steadiness here again with the attention, with the breathing. And staying steady means also staying plugged in to troubleshooting, right? Because when turbulence happens, by definition, it's like something new, something we haven't developed a system for. We don't exactly know how to handle these situations. So when you find something that's not working, we kind of need to have the workflows in place to stop and troubleshoot. Okay, let's Ground the hands underneath the armpits, chest nice and wide, push up to the knees, press all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Okay, from this downward facing dog, we'll go ahead, step or lightly hop the feet all the way up to the hands. Let's go ahead, come on up to halfway from there, arms in front, widen the arms. Go ahead, turn the thumbs face down, push back through something thick, stand all the way up. Breathe, reach your arms wide and high, taking the arms down in front of the chest. Let's go ahead, step the left foot back to high lunge here. So you're on the toe mound of the back foot. Steady yourself. When you're ready, you can stretch your arms in any way that feels good to you. We want to steady through the legs as we cast the upper body forward. And we peel it back up, really pushing down with that right thigh and that right heel, moving back and forth. Really get a sense of that right thigh pushing down, the heel pushing down, right heel pushing down, right heel pushing down. One more time. From here, let's go ahead, open ourselves to the side of the mat, heels in, toes out. We want to make sure that we feel okay here, so we bob. We get a sense of feet pushing and pulling, drawing stockings of activation all the way up the legs into the hips. And then we turn to face the back. So same thing, we just find our steadiness here in our high lunge. And then we can find an arm position that works for us, trying to maintain neutral spine, spine on the broomstick. Actually, spine stays on the broomstick as we hinge. Really utilizing the power of that left foot and the left thigh to come up. Continuing to move like that. Really utilizing that left heel. From here, let's go ahead, take the hands down in front. We'll shift the hands down to the floor. Step the left leg up to one-legged dog. So the leg is parallel with the floor. From here, we'll go ahead, turn that leg in and out, rotating it in and open, really getting steady through the pelvis and through that standing right leg. As we feel ready from here, drawing the knee in without changing anything else. Now shifting forward onto the tippy toes, shoulders over the wrists. Find some space in your abdomen, take the left foot down. Come back on up to your lunge. Find a hinge point in your lunge where you feel nice and steady. Draw the arms in front, but the spine is nice and long. Again, like you're on your broomstick there. We're gonna go ahead, peel the left arm open for a twist, imagining that the spine is shish kebabbed. So from here, we're gonna see if we can pivot the right leg open and turn open towards side angle, a version of side angle. And so here's what the move is. We're pivoting open and close on this left hip, and we're turning the torso forward and into the twist. So let's move like this a few times, getting a sense for the spine, kind of being on that skewer of the shish kebab. This next time we come to the center here, you really feel a sense of like that left butt working to ground that left side of the pelvis down. Go ahead, come up to warrior two, turning the heels in, the toes out. Just see how you feel there. Like, how did everything up the chain do? How's it all feeling for you? Turn yourself back forward. Still got some more fun stuff to do today. Coming forward to our lunge. Let's go ahead, open to the twist. From the twist, we're gonna pivot open here. Imagine that the spine stays on that shish kebab as we go to that version of side angle. And that includes my neck here. Like, I wanna make sure that the neck feels really good. So coming back, trying to move with control. Coming open. Part of it is me really learning how to use that right leg and really hold that right side of the pelvis strong. over time, you'll feel like where the pelvis is supposed to sit in these poses. It can take quite a while to sort of discern that for yourself, but don't worry. Coming back through the center here, let's go ahead, fold the hands down, step the right leg up and back, one-legged dog. From there, rolling the leg in and out. Okay, meeting with that right foot on the ground. Okay, we want to get a sense of the spine nice and long. The legs are as bent, as wide apart as they need to get the spine even and on its broomstick. Now we keep all parts of the spine on the broomstick. The pelvis where it is we take the left knee into the chest and we tap the toes down. So it's maybe like an inch or two forward. And then we pick the foot up and step it back. Pick the right knee into the belly, tap the foot down, step it back. Do that a couple of times. So again, you're getting your brain to dissociate hip movement from spine movement, super good. Okay, now here as you move it in, turn the leg out, tap the foot, turn the knee in, step back. Pick the right knee up, turn the leg out, tap the foot, turn the knee in, step back. So external rotation, knee in, turn it open, tap down, turn it forward, step back. So keep going like that. I know this is a lot for the arms, but stay steady. If you need to take a break, by the way, take breaks. I'm cool with that. Internal rotation. So then he goes in, it turns in, it's not that much. Okay, and then from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the toes pointing forward, but we're gonna walk to the left. Keep pushing down through the hands, keep walking to the left, keep your toes pointing forward, you're off your mat, you're walking them forward, weight in both hands, walk yourself back. Downward facing dog, keep your toes forward, start to walk over to the right. Keep your toes forward, you're walking to the right, you're walking forward. Walk yourself back, toes stay pointing forward. Whoo! Come on down. Anything you like for the wrist? How did that feel? Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay. I have one more really fun thing to do, you guys, for steadiness today. This is where I recommended the ball and the block. So if you don't have that right now, go ahead, pause the video, grab a tennis ball, a golf ball, a dryer ball, anything that rolls. Grab something that you can try to balance it on. Now, once you have your ball, let's go ahead, place it on your block or your book, and let's see if we can start walking around. So just start by holding your brick in both hands. You're gonna see really quickly, like you're using your eyes. Eyes are a great tool for keeping steady here. Now, if you find that this is very challenging, this is sort of stage one, just walking. Stage two is maybe trying to get up and down from the floor. So picking a place, any place, it doesn't have to be your yoga mat. Woo! Taking maybe one knee down, maybe another knee down. Playing around with coming back up. Maybe I even play around with coming down a different way. Maybe even by raising her up. Oh, Lion King. Coming all the way up. Maybe I even want to play around with like a little bit of a horse, a little bit of a shift. So this is a really great task-based movement here to find that nice steadiness, get your eyes involved. So this is now coordination, all of that good stuff. All right, how you feeling there? Let's go ahead, come down to rest. So that's fun. You could actually do that for like a whole 20 minutes. If you have kids, get them involved. Maybe that'll be something fun to do. But now let's go ahead and find some rest on the ground.
So really, truly, just any position that feels restful to you, and you're at home. So if you're close to a couch and you wanted to lay down on the couch, or just, put your legs up onto an ottoman or something like that, just find a place where you feel steady without having to try. You know what steadiness feels like. Steadiness is that feeling of everything is okay, everything is taken care of, everything is somehow, we don't know how, but somehow it is as it should be. And steadiness is not naive. It's not like everything is as it should be, only good things happen, no bad things can ever happen. No, steadiness is still that sense of being alert to what's going on and to being quick on our feet, to always being engaged in the problem solving of life, never giving up on that. And I bet you'll find that if you adopt that as a value of like, hey, my value is to remain steady in all these situations, to try to see them as they are, to try to see the truth of something rather than my interpretation of it. I bet you'll start to see a lot of things shift in your life. Relationships will be easier to manage. Careers will sort of get figured out. There will be more things in your life, more abundance of things that maybe you counted yourself out from. Maybe you said, oh, it's okay if I never have this in life. I'm okay with that. It's okay if I never have a body that knows how to squat or lunge. And all of a sudden it opens you to the possibility of, no, wait a second. No, that can be me too. I just show up and I'm steady. If you'd like to start moving around a little bit, maybe start moving. Any way you'd like to stretch out, wake up, all of that. If you wanted to come up to a comfortable seat, you can spend actually a couple of minutes there, just having a couple of moments of silent sitting after this movement practice. Our body's probably ready for that. Our nervous system is probably ready for something like that. If you notice in your day-to-day life, a lot of times our attention is completely collapsed into what we're thinking about. I don't know about you, but sometimes I notice that I'm just in the hamster wheel of thinking, and I haven't even noticed my toes in half an hour or something like that. So this is our time to distribute our attention evenly through all aspects of our experience, all of our bodily sensations, all of our thoughts, all of our sense perceptions, and not letting any of those things be more important than anything else. And then you find yourself more as the witness of the things that happen, rather than sort of like the blind reactor to the things that happen. And us just giving us this time to sit here quietly is helping us break the momentum of our thinking turning automatically into behavior. It's giving us that pause, that moment to reflect and say, hey, I am more than my thoughts. I am all of these other things. I am that which sees all of these other things. And I can choose to move through life more connected to that understanding. So this is what I will leave us with here today, my friends. I thank you for joining class today. I hope you feel more steady. I hope you feel like you have a better understanding of what that means, certainly of what that means in a movement sense. So let's continue to go out there. Let's pay attention. Let's breathe. And let's celebrate, quite honestly. So thanks so much for joining today. We will be here same time, same place next week. Same place, yes, but next week we're gonna do yoga in your kitchen, which will be very fun because we're coming into the holidays, and I know that during the holidays, everyone's routine is really disrupted. And you know, a lot of us create our movement habits around an hour of exercise. And so if you don't get that hour of exercise, your yoga class, your Zumba class, whatever it is, then you just end up not moving all day. So I want to bring us a little bit of options into how we can integrate more movement of more parts of our body into more moments of our day without us needing to go set aside special time to exercise. So that's what next week's practice is going to be all about. And as you're preparing for Thanksgiving, hopefully you'll get to just try some of this stuff out, because I bet you'll be in your kitchen a lot. So that's that. The other thing is, maybe you just took this class and you were like, well, damn, lady, I want more of what you have to offer. So let me tell you where you can find things. Always laughing because that's like an office joke. But okay, so we are Yoga in Your Living Room. I'm Brenton. My husband, Ollie, helps with all of the tech stuff, and I'm gonna get him behind the camera doing yoga with me over here one day. But we run Yoga in Your Living Room. And that is .com, that is Instagram, that is YouTube, that is Facebook. So go find us on all of those platforms, because we're teaching in a lot of different ways in a lot of different areas. And then I would say the best place to make those next steps closer to me would be to go to my website and sign up for our weekly letter. That comes out every Sunday. It's full of stories of my own movement, history and experiences, what I'm learning, the big aha moments that are going on for us and our movement, and just life practice. And that's where you get all of like new content, new blog posts, schedule for this stuff, live streams, you get live stream links. So that I would say just go sign up for the weekly letter, see it every Sunday. And then of course, if you would like to donate to this work, I have a link in the description below to make a donation to us, either a one-time donation, or you can join us on Patreon every month for an amount of your choosing. So thank you so much if you stuck around through this little announcement spiel. If you have questions, comments, leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to get back to them either through writing or next week during our live session. So thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful day.